All right. Welcome to Waste Some Time with Jason Green live today, right before your steaming eyes. We've got a lot to talk about, a lot of news to get to. I got some announcements about the channel. And then for the first time, we're going to try giving away some stuff here live on the air. So we're going to get to everything right after this. Just wanna waste some time with you. All right. I want to thank everybody for joining me. We did this last week live. I thought I'd stay on for about 10 minutes, read off a few names, and that would be it. But everybody seemed to have a good time. And so we're back here today. And I want to mention that we've got the Patreon. That's what the kids call it, the Patreon. And so people who join that, there's all kinds of different benefits. We're going to talk about that more as the night goes on. But for the people who have signed up this week, they're going to be entered onto a wheel. Your name's going to be on a wheel, and then you're going to have a chance to win a prize. And so far, since it's brand new, there's not that many people, so the odds of winning are even better. So it's easy if you want to check out the Patreon, if you want to get involved in it. There's different level to get in on. So there's a $5 level, and you can get some guitar picks and some cool stuff, and you get updates. And then the next level, you're going to get to watch videos before anybody else. So I'm going to shoot some brand new interviews tomorrow, and the people who are on my Patreon of that tier, they're going to watch those interviews before anybody else. And then the next tier is to ask a question to a guest. And this is cool because I've got some really good guests coming up. I promise you these guests will not disappoint you. And you're going to want to ask a question. So once a month, you'll be able to ask a question to one of my guests. I got one of the greatest guitar players of all time coming up. I can't really say exactly who yet, but you will want to get your question. So that's that level. And then there's a sponsorship level, because people keep asking me to read their ads and their plugs and things, that I would do that, but that's on that level. So I wanted to get these plugs out of the way. The Patreon link is in the description now. So it's patreon.com/waste some time with Jason Green. Okay, let's address the news of today. Very sad. The great Jeff LaBar of Cinderella has passed away at the age of 58. I was fortunate to work with Jeff several times, and one of the nicest guys that you could ever meet. And most of the people that you're going to see today talking about him say that. He was just a nice guy. Admittedly, by himself, he was a troubled guy. He believed, in his own words, that he battled some addiction. But Cinderella was a great band, and Jeff was a great guitar player, and like I said, a very nice guy. Back in, I believe, 2009, 2010, I was managing the band Sin City Sinners, a band that I put together. Started as a fun little party band just to play parties for my company, and then it evolved into 5 records, and here we are 14 years later, different lineups, but still going. Anyway, we had Jeff come in to perform with the band. It was Valentine's Day, and we were having an anti-Valentine's Day party, and he was such a cool guy, and I really got to know him. We did 2 nights of shows with him, and he was great. And then later, a few years down the road, we did a show where Cinderella went on first, and then Sin City Sinners was a separate ticket at Santa Fe Station Casino here in Las Vegas. And Jeff stuck around and got on stage and played with the guys, and he was great. He was really that kind of guy. You didn't think of him as a rock star. He was the kind of guy who would just hang out. He was nice to fans. He was nice to everybody. And so it's really sad. The last time I saw Jeff was on the Monsters of Rock cruise in 2014. I was on the cruise with the band Winger, and Cinderella was performing. It would be their last show ever. That would be the last Cinderella show. In my room to my left was Reb Beach from Winger, and in the room to my right was Jeff LaBar from Cinderella. The way these cruises work is they keep the artists on one floor of the boat. I know what you call it, level. And so a lot of the members of, so Winger, we were going this direction, Cinderella was going this way, and then Winery Dogs across the hall. So every time you'd leave your room, you would run into these guys. And it was great constantly seeing Jeff. I do remember, though, coming back to my cabin late at night and seeing the guys from Cinderella, not Tom, but maybe Eric and Fred, and maybe some other people. Paul Taylor, who was in Winger, was also playing with Cinderella keys. And I remember that it was pretty heated, and that, again, this by Jeff's own admission, he was battling some demons and had some issues. I will say the last Cinderella show was great. It was really enjoyable, and it was packed. They played a room on the cruise, a hall. It was probably too small. A lot of people couldn't even get in. Jeff, rest in peace, Jeff LaBar. It's sad, and it hit me a little bit of a shock. At the same time, Jeff was someone that I knew was battling, and whenever somebody like that is battling, you can't be too shocked when something terrible happens. I don't know how he passed. There is no cause of death, and we'll let his family say that. His son and his father both shared this news today, which is terrible. You can only imagine what they are going through. So we're just looking at a couple pictures of Jeff LaBar before we proceed with the show, because it's hard to ignore, and this just happened within a few hours, and maybe some people are just hearing it for the first time. So we're just taking a look at a few live shots of Jeff LaBar. I will also tell you that I was reaching out to Jeff to appear on my show. I had been messaging, texting, everything, and was not able to get in touch with him. I will tell you that he was working. He's been cooking. He's been going to school to be a chef, and he was really proud of all the recipes and things that he made at home. And so he had a hot sauce that was coming out, and I really wanted to get a hold of Jeff. And I thought, well, maybe the people who are marketing his hot sauce will help me to get back in contact with him. Because he would have been a great guest. He was very open, and again, I knew him, and I think that he would have been happy to do it. We're looking at this looks like an outtake of the Night Songs cover here. So it's really sad. It's sad for Jeff's family. It's sad for those who knew him, and for the fans, and also to know that there will never be another original Cinderella concert. That show in 2014 was the last one, and Tom Kiefer, understandably couldn't put up with much more of the issues that band was going through. And these are things that Jeff said publicly, so I don't want you to think that I'm talking out of school about Jeff. So I wish he would have been here. It's crazy. I looked at all the messages thinking, wow, I really wish we could have got in touch with him. And again, the only reason I bring up addiction and things, it's because it's something that that not only I knew about privately, but it was something that he had spoken about in interviews, and would say that was one of the reasons that he didn't, that Cinderella didn't continue, because they didn't want to be around him. So again, rest in peace to Jeff LaBar. I've got a lot of cool Cinderella memorabilia that he had given me. I have a lot of his guitar picks and all kinds of cool stuff. He was that kind of guy. And then behind me, I have this copy of Night Songs that Jeff signed for me. And if you could see that, yeah. And so there's that. So I thought for today, I would put that up behind us in memory of Jeff. So, okay. Again, very sad news, but we're going to get on with the show. And I thank everybody for joining me again. I hope that you guys are enjoying this. We're going to talk about the guests because we've got some new guests lined up that you don't know about. Here's a funny one. Last week, you guys asked me for a band called Leftover Crack. And I said, I have no idea what that is. I go, you guys are digging really deep, Leftover Crack. This is ridiculous. Who has leftover crack? And I apologize that we're going from addiction talk into the band Leftover Crack. I didn't even realize the segue. But so anyway, I was discussing things with Frank Bello from Anthrax is going to be on the show to promote his book. And the people who handle his book also handle Leftover Crack. And oddly enough, they said to me, hey, you know, things are set for Frank to promote the book, but would you like Leftover Crack? And who could turn down Leftover Crack? And I said, it's so funny you mentioned that. I wasn't familiar. And I started researching these guys. And they are a legit punk band. They call it crust punk. I hate that term. It's never been a term I liked. And they're a little bit ska and they're a little bit hardcore. And they're from New York City. I left New York City December 31st, 1999 to move to Las Vegas, where I've been since. So they came out around 98. But so anyway, these guys are going to be on the show, and they're a little ridiculous. I mean, they're characters. So it should be make for a funny interview. And yeah, they lived in a squat house on Avenue C in Alphabet City. So those guys will be here. I'm still studying, but they'll be here. Then while we're talking about punk, I want to make sure that you guys tune in to Friday. And if you're watching the replay, you've maybe already seen it. But Kira Rossler, she was the bass player for Black Flag at just 23 years old. She dated Henry Rollins before. And I'm going to give away a secret that you guys, this is the most clickbait headline ever. Kira Rossler says in my interview that she had only had a sexual experience with one woman in her life. And that woman is Joan Jett, and she's going to tell that story. So listen, if you're only going to have one experience, I think Joan Jett might be the coolest. It's not just kiss and tell stories. Kira really paid her dues in punk rock. We talk about late 70s, early 80s, what it was like. She went to high school. Her older brother was classmates with Darby Crash and Pat Smear of the Germs. She's going to talk about that. She was with Pat Smear and Darby, on the last night that Darby was alive. And so she's going to tell some pretty interesting stories. It's 2 hours. I'm scared that so many of my audience, you guys, are hard rock and heavy metal fans, and that you might not be into the heavy stuff. Whether you're into Black Flag or not, I promise you that this is an interesting interview. This woman is a survivor. She's also now an Emmy Award winner. She did the sound editing for the, there's a more technical term for it, for the show Game of Thrones. She did sound on the movie Mad Max. I think it's called Beyond Fury, the last one. And they won an Oscar for that. So listen, she's got amazing stories. I want you guys to tune in. So I'm going to talk a little bit more about guests coming up, and then I'll get into your questions. If any of you know how to use the super chat, that is the easiest way for me to read your questions. It also supports the channel, but it'll highlight you, and then I can get to the question, because some of these, there's a lot going by, and it's hard to get to everything. Okay, so past interviews, I want to make sure that you guys have watched them. Have you guys checked out Kelly Garney from the original bass player for Quiet Riot? That's a great interview, and that one is up right now. And he tells amazing stories about Randy Rhoads, and he tells stories that nobody has had before. So I don't really know how to explain Super Chat, but it is an option where you can get, you can tip, and you'll be highlighted and get an emoji, and then I can read your question stands out, and then I can highlight it into the chat. So it's somewhere on there how to do it. I should know these things, but this is all new. Okay, anyway, so yeah, Kelly Garney is a great interview. And then after that, the one that just premiered on Monday, Jim Gillette of Nitro. And I want to talk about Jim Gillette of Nitro just a bit. And I got to mention, a Cincy Collector is he's the mod tonight. And so maybe he can tell you guys how to do the super chat. So Jay, if you're watching this, explain it to the folks at home how it works because again, I should know, but I don't. Jim Gillette and Nitro was a controversial interview. Most people really seemed to like it, but there were some people who were mad at me for not getting into Lita Ford so much. And there was a lot of people who said he dodged Lita Ford questions. Okay, so I'm going to clear this up. I never asked him a direct question about Lita Ford. So therefore, he didn't dodge anything. I mentioned that he was married to her and that it was a very public divorce and messy. And that's it. I didn't feel like it was time to dwell on that. He's done tons of interviews where he talked about his marriage to Lita Ford. The kids are grown up and have moved away. Okay, they're adults. They're in their 20s. And so to drag up the past again, it didn't seem worth it. Jim Gillette got sole custody of his children. That says a lot. When a man gets sole custody of kids, that says a lot. So, and it wasn't my business. And I don't really look to make this show into tabloids. I'm not scared to ask questions. As you've seen, I've asked guest questions that nobody else asks. Excuse me. But I just didn't think there was a reason to dwell on something that's old news. And I see people claiming all these things, but a lot of people side with Lita Ford because she's a woman. That's understandable. And also because she's more famous. We love the Runaways and her solo career. That doesn't mean that she's not troubled. I don't know. I can tell you what her children say. It sounds like she had some problems, but she's welcome to come on here and talk. But I think people want to hear more about music. And I think Jim told some amazing stories. And I think the average person liked it. So just to clear that up, Jim didn't dodge anything. I'm sure he would have got into it. Just didn't know what the purpose was to ask him about a marriage that didn't work out and ended up in the courts and things like that. And Jim has been very successful in other fields. I think people have this attitude that Jim was living off Lita. And if you know the music business, Lita probably didn't have a ton of money at the time. So anyway, it's no disrespect to her, but also I think we don't know the story and we're all jumping in. Tomorrow. Yes, thank you, Maury. I agree. It's not TMZ. If it was a story that had never been spoken about and it seemed interesting, why not? Todd Kearns interview. There's a funny question. Listen, I like Todd Kearns. I've worked with him for a lot of years. I hired him for the Sin City Sinners, and he's talented. He's a talented guy. He sang that show with Jeff LaBar, and I said not many guys can sing those Tom Kiefer vocals, and he did. Do I think Todd would do this? Probably not. He does his own thing, and we are not. Me and the former members of Sin City Sinners have all moved on. We call Sin City Sinners All-Stars now to represent the current lineup, and something that I put together August 27th, 2007, and continue to. So, okay, that one caught my eye. But anyway, yeah, tomorrow I am interviewing Courtney Gaines. And Courtney Gaines is an actor. He's been in everything, really huge 80s career. And he was in the movie Back to the Future. I mean, one of the biggest movies of all time. Back to the Future, he was in Secret Admirer with C. Thomas Howell. Can't Buy Me Love with Patrick Dempsey. Children of the Corn. Talk about a creepy movie. He was the creepy kid, Malachi, in Children of the Corn. And so I'm interviewing him tomorrow. And what I want to point out is if you guys go to my Patreon and you sign up for the tier, appropriate tier, you're going to watch the interview before everybody else. The interview doesn't come out until next week. I will show you the interview as soon as it's done. And if you go to the other tier, you can ask Courtney Gaines a question. So if you have a question, join tonight and when you'll ask the question. And don't forget, in just a little while, we're going to go to the wheel, and one of my lucky Patreons is going to win some really cool prizes. And not just that, everyone watching tonight is going to be eligible to win a prize, and we'll announce the winners next week. I've got some really cool stuff, but I want to get through these plugs with you. The Burbs, absolutely. Burbs, another really cool movie. I had Jet Boy on and Circus of Power, and they both had songs in The Burbs. We're going to get to the giveaways, so I know a lot of people here for that. Okay, so Courtney Gaines tomorrow. On Sunday, I'm interviewing Gary Sunshine of the band Circus of Power. Had the song on The Burbs. He's got a solo record out. And I should point out Corny Gaines has music out. That's what he's here for. We're going to talk about movies too, but he's got new music. Yes. So Gary Sunshine was also Axl Rose's guitar teacher, and he played on the Guns N' Roses song End of Days. I mean, we got to ask him what it's like to be Axl Rose's guitar teacher. It sounds like the oddest gig ever. Okay, also coming up, Billy Dior from D-Moles. He has an amazing book about D-Moles, whatever it's called. I didn't get the spoken word version. Anyway, he's got some amazing stories about Hollywood. Sammy Yaffa will be here in August to promote his new album. He was in Hanoi Rocks and the New York Dolls. Also, Robert Sarzo will be here to talk about Hurricane. They have a new album coming out. Can't forget The Great Cat, one of the oddest people of all time, The Great Cat. That's coming soon. That interview is like nothing else you'll ever see, trust me. I've teased that we have a British heavy metal legend coming up. I still can't say who it is, but it's coming. And then also one of the greatest guitar players of the heavy metal scene, one of the top guys, will be here very soon. And he's a friend of mine, and he's cool. And I'm going to get stories out of him that these other guys cannot get. Okay. Also, I talked to Lorraine Lewis from Femme Fatale and Vixen, and she's coming on very soon as well. I'm trying to read my handwriting here, but Mar Draymond's going to be here. She was in the band called Flame with Jimmy Crespo. She made an album called Renegade that was never available with Tom Hamilton, Jimmy Crespo, and Joey Kramer. It's kind of a lost Aerosmith record. So we're going to get to that. And then Johnny Lee Middleton from the band Savatage and Trans-Siberian Orchestra. He will be here. We're talking this weekend. Okay, so we got that out of the way. I want to try this giveaway thing. And the idea is, and I see some of your comments, and they seem good. Also, Stephen Pearcy. Everybody's asking for Stephen Pearcy. So I got on him. I gave Stephen Pearcy a piece of my mind, and I told him, I see these interviews you're doing, and 50 people are watching. And these interviewers suck. I'm not naming names. And nobody cares. You can reach more people yelling out your window. And at 3 a.m, he texted me back and said, let's set it up. And so I'm dealing with his people. And it's going to be a little bit, but we will have Stephen Pearcy here. And I'm seeing some guests about George Lynch in Britain. The great guitar player, one of them is American, and then the other one is the English, is the heavy metal one. There's 2 different people. I'd love to have Charlotte Caffey. I'm a huge fan of the Go-Go's. Gina Schock has a book out, and I'm really hoping to have her on. Okay. And again, I see some of you guys. Write to your favorite people and tell them that they should come on this show. Okay. Let's give some stuff away. All right. We're going to give, this is for the Patreons first. I hope my Patreons are here. But I want to give away, let's see what we got. First thing I want to give away is my own CD. Okay. This is just to test it because I've never used this system before. This is Sin City Rejects, Death of a Nation. And here it is with the CD. I had to make sure the CD was still in there. And this is signed by the band, Johnny Rocks, Scotty Griffin, myself, and Rachel May, our former guitar player. So it's even a little rare. And I'm seeing all your requests, and I'm going to get to them. We're going to have a whole Q&A time, but I want to give away a CD. So to my Patreons watching, we're going to bring up the Wheel of Names. Have you guys seen the Wheel of Names before? Of course not. Okay, here it is. This is the Wheel of Names. The names that you see on this wheel are the current Patreons. If you guys join the Patreon program, which Sin City Collector is going to share the link, but if you guys join, you will have your name added to the wheel. Funny, I just shared the link as well. And then you'll have chances to win prizes. Now, you're still going to have a chance to, there's good stuff. I'm trying to focus, though. There's going to be a chance for everybody. So not just Patreons, but okay. So the first thing I'm giving away today is the Sin City Rejects, Death of a Nation autographed CD. So one of the people on the wheel. So this is how this wheel business works. I've never done this. We're going to learn together. So there are 7 names. Now we shuffle the names like this. We're going to do it 3 times. There's 1 shuffle, there's 2 shuffles, there's 3 shuffles. So that you know this is completely on the up and up. This is a very serious matter. Now, all I have to do is go here to the middle, I believe, and I'm going to hit this button. The wheel's going to spin, and the winner, who does not have to be present to win, is going to get an autographed Sin City Reject CD. Here we go. Come on, let's go. I've been watching a lot of The Price is Right. Hey, look at that, XJ. XJ just signed up today. Look at that, look at that. Look at the fanfare you're getting, XJ. Look at that. Oh, my goodness. Who knew that there'd be so much fireworks? Okay, so now we take XJ off of the wheel. XJ, congratulations. Are you here? This is coming to you. Now, because you're a Patreon, I have your information, and I will mail this to you. And so that I'm organized, I've got this thing here so that I know who it goes to. All right? There we go. Now, I want to give away some more stuff just to my Patreons, and then I want to open up to everybody. Sin City Sinners. You guys asked about the Sin City Sinners band that I was involved with. Well, I happen to have the CD here called Dive Bar Days Revisited. This record is co-produced by me and has a lot of amazing guest stars. And this record is completely out of print. You can't buy this in your local Sam Goody or Crazy Eddie or Nobody Beats the Wiz. It doesn't work that way anymore. I have it. It's sealed. Most of these CDs had a random Sin City Sinners tattoo inside. My idea. Most things with this band, my idea. Anyway, Kick Out the Jams featuring Gilby Clarke on lead vocals. Gilby Clarke of Guns N' Roses. Search and Destroy featuring Todd Kerns and Cheetah Chrome of the Dead Boys. Little Willie from the Sweet featuring Zach Throne on vocals. Snorting Whiskey featuring Danny the Count Coker. Many of you know him from the Counting Cars TV show. Gimme Shelter featuring Brent Muscat from Faster Pussycat. Oh my goodness. All the way from Memphis, Dizzy Reed on keyboards and vocals. Moon Age Daydream featuring George Lynch and the guy from LA Guns that I don't remember his name. Tie Your Mother Down featuring Frank Domino and Ron Keel. NIB, Black Sabbath song featuring Chris Holmes and Robert Mason. And then Sin City featuring Damie Down and Brent Muscat. That's the closest you're going to get to a recorded Faster Pussycat reunion. This is a really cool CD. I want to give it to one of my Patreons first. And just for good measure, I want to give you the Sin City Sinners Christmas CD too. This is called Sinners Christmas 2. This has Oz Fox from Stryper, Tiffany, Frank Domino, Mark Kendall from Great White, all kinds of other cool celebrities. So these 2 CDs are going to go to the next person on the wheel. Now, XJ's name came off the wheel. So there are only 6 names on the wheel. That's how easy it is to win prizes around here. Now, let's get this going. Okay, now we got to shuffle 3 times. 1 shuffle, 2 shuffle, 3 shuffles. Here we go. Let's spin the wheel. All right, everybody. This is my dream of being a game show host. Let's see who wins. Ooh, that was close. Gene. Does Gene get the fanfare? There we go. Okay, so now, Gene, you're getting the 2 Sinners CDs. Okay. So, okay, and we'll take Gene off the wheel. All right, you guys excited by this? Now, I know that some of you watching want to get involved in the conversation. And Gene Hackman, it's a possibility. It's a possibility. So I'm going to start a fake Saint City. I think there's all kinds of fake Sin City Sinners out there. Actually, you would not be the first. There's a lot of bands that claim to be that name. So the courts only recognize 1. Anyway, that's neither here nor there. Let's give away something else. You guys like Funko Pops? If you watch my channel, we have I do a lot of shows about Funko Pops. Thank you, Ron C, for being one of my first subscribers. Okay, so I'm gonna get to your questions. And again, if you super chat, I'll answer it right away because then I can see it. All right, so I got these Funko Pops. Do you guys, anyone here collect them? Because what I want to do is I want to either start your Funko collection or I want to add to your Funko collection. So we got a couple Rock Pops, and I'm going to give a couple away to anyone watching right now. Even if you're watching on the replay, you have got 1 week to win these prizes. I want you to go into the comments, and I want you to hashtag. Hold on. Before we even get to that, let's show the prizes. This is Joe Perry from Aerosmith. This is Funko Pop Rocks number 173. If you don't have this, I'm going to give it to you. This is a good way to start a rock collection. One of the greatest rock guitar players there is. Okay, so someone's going to get this. I'm going to put Joe Perry right there. And for those of you, maybe you like Bret Michaels from Poison. Maybe some of you don't even know he's in Poison. Maybe you know him from that Rock of Love or the show with Trump where he goes and gets Trump coffee. And I never watched that show. The internship or whatever it was called. Anyway, Bret Michaels Funko Pop. This is a brand new one. Very cool. And I want to give this to you. Okay, so this is how you do it. I'm going to choose 2 winners. I want you to subscribe to my channel. That's the first thing you got to do. Subscribe to the channel. Now, not here in the live chat. You got to go into the comments. And you have to hashtag waste some time with Jason Green. It's a lot of work. I know it's a long thing to write. But you write hashtag waste some time with Jason Green. Spelling is crucial. And then in the comments, say if you want Bret or you want the other guy, Joe Perry. And now thank you. See now, XJ, you figured out how to work the super chat. And I appreciate it. Thank you for supporting the channel. We're trying to keep this thing going. And if you have a question, XJ, by the way, now ask the question because you have climbed to the top and you've already been a winner. You're a winner. And tonight we can all be winners. We can all be heroes too, if you like. Okay, so let's explain it again. Let's make it easier. You go to the video, you hashtag waste some time with Jason Green, and you choose either Bret or Joe. That's all. That doesn't come in the hashtag. The hashtag is hashtag waste some time with Jason Green. Say if you want a Bret Funko or a Joe Funko. Now, next week, right here live, we are going to pick the winners. We're going to, it's a random generator. It's like the wheel, but not quite. And so I'm going to give away those 2 Funko Pops. And then you know what? Let's give away. We're going to give away some more stuff. We got some time. We got some more time. So I feel like we should give the Patreons one more thing, though, just as incentive, because you know what? They were nice enough to sign up. I feel like here. Let's see what we got. I got another signed Sin City Rejects CD just for one of my Patreons. All right, so hold on. Let's add this. And now there's only 5 people on here. Somebody's going to win. I'm going to shuffle this 3 times. 1, 2, 3. And I hope you guys want this thing. Here we go. You know what? If you don't want my CD, I'll give you the Sinner CD. Here we go. Ooh, that was close. Matt just pushed out Kevin, just barely, but he did win. Okay. So that's Matt. Matt, you are going to get a CD as well. All right. Okay, so we've done the wheel today. You guys see how much fun it is. I know that you guys watching at home are going, man, oh man, do I wish I was on the wheel of fun. So, okay. All right, so that's that. Hashtag waste some time with Jason Green. Sin City Collector has it right there. You just copy it, and then you write you write Bret or Joe. Okay, yeah, there it is. And I think though you got Sin City Collector. He may know better, but I think you got to put it not in this because this is the live chat. I think we got to stick it in the comments to the video. Maybe he'll research that. And we'll give away some prizes. So I want to do that. And you know what? Maybe you want the Sin City Sinners CDs. Maybe you like that. I will give away a set of those as well. Now, next week, we'll give away bigger items. This is just me trying to learn the system, to be honest. I'm going to give away some really cool memorabilia and some more valuable stuff. So, okay, so that's that. Let's take a look at my notes. And again, get in on this Patreon because, and you know, I should point out the thing about the Patreon is you don't have to subscribe for the rest of your life. You want to ask a question to one of the best guitar players of hard rock and heavy metal, you got to get on. And these are limited. There's not going to be a lot of, I'm not going to sit there and read 50 questions, but I will read your name, where you're from, whatever you want. And you'll get to having a guy who might have been in Dokken, you know, so who knows? Okay. And then we'll have some other cool things. Again, I'm just trying to learn this. I think that was a lot of fun personally, and I would like to do this again. If you guys want me to keep doing this live show on a week, let me know. Again, make sure you subscribe and then put it into the chat. All right. What do you guys want to talk about? We already talked about the great Jeff LaBar passing away. Really sad news at just 58 years old. Rest in peace, Jeff LaBar. I said I was fortunate to work with him and spend some time. And what a good guy. Yeah, we could give away some vinyl. I've got some really cool stuff. I got to tell you guys, I have an amazing collection of things. Like I said, I just wanted to start and get used to it. So, okay, Rick Fox, would that be an interesting guest? Yeah, I'm ready to take your. I'm ready to take your suggestions. Again, if you do the super chat, I can read it better. But making sure I told you everybody who's coming on. We talked about leftover crack, right? And Frank Bello. You guys like Frank Bello from Anthrax. Well, thank you, Analog Kid. I love you too, I think. Why not? I don't know if Analog Kid is a male or a female, but it doesn't matter anymore, does it? That's right. Thank you, Sin City Collector. After the video's over, go into the comments. Listen, I sent a message to Robin McCauley. He didn't respond yet. And it said something like, oh, he'll respond right away, but he hasn't responded. Do you guys know that I have a second YouTube channel? You guys have been really helping me. It doesn't have any real content on it yet, but it really helps me that you guys go and subscribe to it because it's going to have all my travel adventures, all my Funko stuff, and I'm going to be out on the road real soon. And so please just go subscribe. Even if you don't like the stuff I do, go subscribe. You can't get monetized on YouTube until you have 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 hours of watch time. So if you guys help me get a head start, I could put some cool content on. John Sykes is one of the names that I receive the most. I haven't completely figured it out yet, but we'll see. This is a tricky thing. When I started this, just like when I started Sin City Sinners, the guests who appeared with the band were people that I knew or I could get a hold of, or somebody that one of the other guys in the band knew. And so it's the same thing here. What's really good, though, is people are starting to enjoy these interviews and word is getting around. And, you know, if you're going to be a guest on someone's show, I've been a guest on people's podcasts. You want somebody who did their homework, and you don't want somebody who's going to say, you know, so you were Nitro, what was that like? And isn't listening and just trying to get YouTube hits. It doesn't work. If you go look at these people on YouTube, they interview the same people as me. They have nobody cares. Nobody views it. Other people interview Jim Gillette, they get 30 views. We interview Jim Gillette, we get 3,000. It's because you guys like what we do. And I do put my effort into this. I appreciate it. I'm getting a lot of L7. L7 is one of my favorites. I really love L7. I have to try a little harder. I sent an email to Donita, but this is a while back. Again, people look at these channels and they go, well, how many likes do you have? Also, if you guys want more of these punk kind of people, I grew up on New York City punk rock. We got to, I have to have a diverse audience, and I'm trying. You know, we've had some heavier people. We had Alex Skolnick from Testament. We got Frank Bello. So now you're getting some of the big Thrash Guys. How do we message you a rock star's contact info? Yeah, that's easy. You just email me. Email me, TheWorldofJasonGreen@gmail.com. The links are in all my videos. So go to one of my videos and you'll see my whole history. Instagram's good too. I don't respond great to emails. I'm a little slow. We're working on getting a team together. But I do, but yeah, Instagram. Let's see. Anyway, yeah, so if you all subscribe, I want to get to 6,000 already. You know, we're close. We're around 5,600 and change. So if you guys get us to 6,000, now, you know, a kid, it says I'm amazing, and I appreciate that. Well, hold on. Let's highlight that. There we go. I appreciate that. Thank you. Not many kids are analog anymore, but I appreciate being told that I'm amazing. I take every cheap compliment that I can get. Someone here says, don't get too big-headed. Yes. It's ridiculous. You want big heads? Go watch the other podcast. You'll see them talk about themselves. See, this is not the interview. You guys are tuning in to see me talk about the guest, and I'll talk honestly about my life. But when I do the interviews, it's not me laughing at my own jokes and all that nonsense. You know. All right. Anyway, I don't got time for this. I'll be on email too. Yeah, listen, we're gonna hire a whole staff. Soon. Corey Clark from Word of Soul, I think, is good. Gonna make a note of that. Vivian Campbell's thinking about it. Perfect. Yeah, that's good. We could promote his Last in Line, because I had Andrew Freeman on and we promoted it. And you know what? They sold some CDs. So, all right, let's see what else. We'll get to a few more questions and then I'm going to get the hell out of here. I think a Vinny from Agnostic Front would be interesting. You know, they'd be a little bit trickier. And again, the problem with YouTube, for those of you who don't know, is that if you put on an interview that doesn't get a lot of views, your channel dives down. And then it's hard to get up. Sometimes my interviews that do well only did well because the person before him had a big push, like after Mickey D or something like that, which got 20,000 views. Carlos Cavazzo, 60,000 views. The channel gets hot and people start getting into it. And so if I put on somebody and 10 people watch it, the whole channel dives down, and then they don't push my videos out. And that's a big part of this. So I've gotten this hardcore superstar thing. Maybe you're the one who said it because no one else has. And I Googled it, and I mean, the guy's got black hair with a part in the middle. So he didn't look horrible. I'll take that much. Do you have a favorite host? Hold on. Seems like an interesting question. Do I have a favorite host journalist whose interviewing style you follow? Well, yeah, I like Howard Stern, pretty obviously. There's some other ones I used to like. I worked for Geraldo Rivera for a long time, and actually, he's a great interviewer. I don't really follow what he does as much now, but I learned a lot. Believe me, I learned a lot from that guy, and I learned how to open a vault and find a bottle. I learned how to get a chair thrown at my nose. No, he's a great guy. So yeah, Howard's my favorite. The reason Howard became so popular is because he talked to people in a real sense, not this phony baloney bullshit. And people felt comfortable talking to him, which sometimes people have said stuff to me in the interviews that they thought maybe they wouldn't have said to somebody else, but they felt like they're just having a conversation with me. And then next thing you know, they told me that they're mad about publishing or something. And so, yes, Geraldo was a Puerto Rican, a Boricua, but he's a Puerto Rican Jew, if you want to know the truth. Geraldo has a Jewish star tattooed right here on his hand. And when he used to go and cover the war in other countries, he had to put makeup on it to cover his Jewish star because it obviously would be frowned upon in certain places. So yes, a little Geraldo tidbit. And yes, I see a lot about Jeff LaBar, which we did talk about, and it is incredibly sad. If you go back and watch the replay, you can see us talk about Jeff LaBar. I feel like, sometimes people say stupid shit, and and they troll, so to speak. But Jason, your question is, how do I maintain that complex wardrobe? And that is funny. Jason, send me a picture of what you're wearing right now. Actually, send me a picture of your entire closet. You see, I don't get dressed to come on here. My complex wardrobe is these V-neck shirts that are very comfortable. I'm not wearing pants because, why would I? I go right to my OnlyFans after this. So yeah, this is not a fashion show. This is serious business. You guys realize that? This is serious business. We're giving away Funko Pops on a wheel that spins around. You think I got time to worry about wardrobe? When I started this channel, I had so many jackass trolls. It's so annoying. And they all knew everything. And you're never going to succeed. And your channel's not going to go anywhere. And you don't know what Carlos Cavazzo had for lunch in 1979. And you know what? Screw them all. Because they're all wrong. You were all wrong. They told me my channel wasn't going to last. This channel is on the way to being the fastest growing YouTube rock channel there is. It's just a fact. And I'm not bragging. It's because of you guys. You watch this and you appreciate it. I'm grateful. I'm here to give you guys the best interviews I possibly can. So screw everybody else. And then, the best also when I get somebody who goes in the comments and says, Kelly Garney's vocal was a little low. Yeah, no shit. No shit. Did you have to comment that? I get that all the time. Yeah, the end of the video was cut a little short. You don't think I know that? You ever see Christmas Vacation where Clark Griswold is showing people the tree and then his wife's father says, well, the little lights aren't twinkling, Clark. And he goes, I know, Arden. Thanks for noticing. That's what I feel about when these jackasses tell me that the sound was a little low. And then I get other idiots who say, I'm going to cancel my subscription. This is the Yelp culture. This is what the problem with the world is. Everybody thinks they're a goddamn critic. Excuse my language. They think they're a fucking critic. And it's ridiculous, and so you get people, I'm going to cancel my subscription because there's too many ads. Well, the ads are how I'm able to do this. The ads pay the bills. Now, if you don't want the ads, you get this thing called YouTube Premium. I have it. It's $11.99 a month. You get no ads. Okay. I'm sorry that I went on a little bit of a tangent. I hope you guys don't mind. All right, let me go back and read some of your questions. Thank you for all the nice people. And let's see. Trying to get through all these. I need a co-host is what I need. You know what I mean? I need the YouTube Premium is the best thing. I can't imagine anyone not having, especially if you enjoy like podcasts and things. It helps. Yeah, I like this one. That's you watch some of the interviews twice. I agree. You know what? I forget after I do the interviews. I kind of forget what the people said, and it's like I got to go back. And usually I record it, and then I watch the interview live when it premieres with you guys, and sometimes, sometimes I'm just like, wow, these people really said some interesting things because I'm interested in what they say. I don't really put somebody on that I think just will get hits. I'll tell you that. I'm either a fan of the person or I'm a fan of a good story. To me, the most important thing about interviews is, do they have a good story? Because, putting somebody on who, I don't care how famous you are, what do you got behind it? And also, what angle can I take? And I'm going to tell you tomorrow, Courtney Gaines, the actor and musician, we're going to talk about Back to the Future, okay, in the movie. And I promise you, you're going to learn things about that movie that you've never known. I promise you're going to be really interested. We're going to have some really, really deep, fun conversation. Now, what is this question here? Yes, maybe the wheel needs a smoking hot chick. I agree. That could happen. Again, there's a lot of comments, so it's hard for me to read all this. Somebody says there's a thing called AdGuard. I don't know what that is, but I don't. Vinnie Vincent, I don't know. I don't think Vinnie Vincent's doing many interviews. I mean, Vinnie Vincent looks like a train wreck. I mean, I would interview him, but I'm seeing a lot of Dave Sabo, and yeah, yeah. All right, I'm almost going to wrap this up, but musical question: do I choose Megadeth or Metallica? It's very easy. Everybody knows that it's Metallica. Come on. Did you guys see that Dave Mustaine says Dave Ellefson is never coming back? I don't know. Did Dave Ellefson? And I mentioned this last week, but I've been in touch with him. Did you not that kind of touch? But did anyone think that he really did anything that wrong? Is it wrong to talk to a girl who's 18? I don't know. It's not legal, so I think that Dave Mustaine's probably a prick and just didn't want the guy in the band anymore. Who knows? Maybe David Ellefson's difficult too. Maybe everyone's difficult. Did I ever meet Eddie Van Halen? I did. I met Eddie Van Halen several times. I'll do a special show one day and tell you my David Lee Roth and Eddie Van Halen stories. They're great, but it's too long, and it'll take me a minute to get into all that. Here's a nice long question that we will highlight. Oh, that's not it. It's hot here. Do you have your AC on? Well, it's not a bad question. AC is down right now, actually. I mean, it's not down. In order to give you this pristine audio quality so people don't bitch, I've got the air off. I'm enjoying your channel. The interviews are great, and I'm impressed how good the memory is with all the guests. I've started listening to some great. Love Fifth Angel now. That's great. I like it a lot when people tell me that they discovered artists from watching this. And I wish that we could keep doing that. I don't know, some of the stuff I don't get. Oh, I get it now. Okay, yeah. Yeah, it's funny. Someone said, there goes the Mustaine interview. I don't think I was going to get him anyway, but I still might. People got the shit to sell. Johnny Lee Middleton of Savatage will be on the show next week. So I see a request for Savatage. He will be here. When I was in high school, I was an actor, believe it or not. Before I became a failed musician, I was a failed actor. I'm a successful YouTuber, though. But anyway, I auditioned for a music video called The Gutter Ballet by Savatage. Can you believe that? Can you believe that? I didn't get the part. But I'm going to bitch at Johnny Lee Middleton and tell him that I was perfect for the part. If you guys want to know another acting story about me, I auditioned for a movie called The Crow. That's true. I did not get the part because I was too young. And I thought that I had a background that was very qualified for that movie. I thought martial art knowledge and things like that was going to be a thing. No, didn't happen. They wanted me to play one of those thug characters, and I was a small kid, but a huge fan of Jeet Kune Do and a huge fan of Brandon Lee. Ultimately, maybe it's better I didn't get the part because that set was so had so much bad luck, obviously. Anyway, I did study acting. Richard Black, that one comes up a lot. I'm going to write that one down because, boy, does that come up a lot. Shark Island and Contraband, Richard Black. I got to feel like he's got some time on his hands, right? Yes, The Crow is the movie that Brandon Lee passed away on. Would you ever interview an entire band? Yeah, I think I'd like to try to reunite a band. I think the fun thing would be to try to get guys who haven't talked in a long time on the same show. It is difficult. If you watch Simon Wright and Rowan Robertson interview, it's hard to get them to focus. Yeah. And then also I had Tommy Skeoch, but one of the rules to the Tommy Skeoch interview was that they had Nathan Oots, his singer, there to make it a band effort type of thing. Analog Kid, you're probably very young. You're asking how Brandon Lee died. On the set of the movie The Crow, there is a scene where they were supposed to shoot a blank. And the day before, the coordinator used a real bullet in a scene, which is ridiculous and unheard of in movies. That person actually was a very close friend of Brandon's. And the piece of the bullet didn't clear the gun. And so the next day they put the squib in, like a blank, that was supposed to set off a thing. And it actually pushed out the piece of the bullet from the day before, and it left a dime-size hole in his abdomen, I believe. And so that is how Brandon Lee died. Sad stuff. Have you heard from Oz Foxlet recently? That's a good question. Yeah, I stay in touch with Oz. I really want to have Oz back on. But Striper has a Patreon, and they try to keep their stuff to them. So to hear Oz, they want him to be on the Striper Patreon. I understand. He is doing well. He went to have some tests done yesterday, but Oz is doing incredibly well. He is taking off time from playing here in Vegas. He can play, though, and he's going to do things with Striper, and you can follow Striper. I believe they'll have a new record and stuff like that. Going to try to have some actors. I told you, tomorrow's Courtney Gaines from Secret Admirer, Children of the Corn, Back to the Future. That's an actor. I had Jane Jensen on from the movie Romeo and Juliet, a movie that I wrote a draft of. We had actors from The Karate Kid. If you guys dig around, I had Dara Vidal, who was lost to Johnny Lawrence in the finals. William Christopher Ford, Karate Kid 3. So yeah, we got a lot of people. Wanted to get to a couple more, and then if this is boring, I'll go do something else. I feel like I'm always boring you guys. Sebastian, yeah, we'll see. We'll see about that. Scott Rockenfield, guys. Dan, you're making sense. You should be producing for me, Dan. Scott Rockenfield is a big one. What is going on with Queensryche? We need that guy on the show. Guys, please help me find him. Go into the white pages under Rockenfield and find him. Scott Rockenfield. Queensryche is so dysfunctional. We need to get him. John Christ, I'm getting that one a lot. I like him. Let's see what we can do. You'd be surprised how many people I reach out to on a daily basis. A lot. Robert Sarzo from Hurricane. He's in Hurricane presently. He's going to be here. So if you want to hear about Hurricane, then cool. Joe Holmes, that's an interesting one. Lizzie Borden, I'm working on. He lives in Vegas. He'll be on. I know that one's coming. I mentioned that today I saw Billy Sheehan hasn't written back to me. I don't know what it is with that guy, but maybe he'll come around. Scott Thorne, Thin Lizzy, that would be great. I got to get on that one. I'm gonna make a note. Scott Gorham, he had a great band called 21 Guns. Besides Thin Lizzy, that was also great. All right, if you guys aren't bored, we'll keep going. So, I don't really prepare these kind of, sadly, we talked about Jeff LaBar because it was newsworthy and because I had worked with him. As I said earlier, he was in the cabin next to me on the Monsters of Rock cruise. It turned out to be the last time Cinderella would ever play. I also saw Cinderella at the Nassau Coliseum in Long Island, New York, with Bullet Boys and I think Winger. How crazy. So, I see you're asking for a member of Cinderella, but I don't think right now those guys are going to want to be talking. And I think, yeah. Anyway, and a lot of people do these when they have something to promote. That's a big thing. Ramones, we're talking to surviving Ramones, and I got some other cool people coming on. Jean Beauvoir, who is in the Plasmatics, and wrote and produced for the Ramones, and then CJ, of course, and Fred Corey's a busy guy. I don't know if Fred Corey's going to do it. Maybe. And then you're asking about Rudy Sarzo. We'll see. He didn't respond, and I do talk with him, but maybe Robert will push him. And Vito Bratta, of course, is one of the names that I get the most. Just don't think Vito Bratta is going to do it, but you just never know. And Harry K. Cody and Tim Skold, I get a lot too. I hope the people watching this don't get bored with us just talking about names, but I think these are great names. And sometimes this is just suggestions help. There's a great one. Hold on. I highlight the ones I really like, or the ones that use the super chat. How about Buster Poindexter, also known as David Johansen? That is the lead singer for the New York Dolls. He's the only surviving member of the New York Dolls, and boy, would I love to have him on. He's a tough guy to get a hold of, and I'm not sure how up he is to do this. Maybe ask Sammy Yaffa, who was in the Dolls, a later version of the Dolls with him. Would you like to join me? Oh, look at this. I'm getting a proposition, an offer. Would you like to go join me 27th to watch Docking at Fremont? That's a tough one. I would love to keep you. I'd love to take you up on your offer. I'm not a big fan of Fremont Street, to be honest. If you've been to Las Vegas, it's going to be 20 million people. It's going to be a super spreader event. I don't know if it's going to be a super spreader of disease, but there's going to be a lot of super spreading of something. But maybe, I don't know. Maybe George Lynch is going to come on here and promote that show. Can't really say. But thank you for the invite. And it could happen. I don't know. I don't like to talk too much about Dockin because I'm hoping to get Don Dockin on the show too. Yeah, you're asking about Wild McBrown's brother, Mild Steve Brown, and he's a possibility. I think he would do it. I'm just not sure how much he has to say. I know that Mick Brown has said he's retired and did not want to do it. Well, hold on. There's something nice. Jason, you have the unique ability to make any interview with even the worst guest great. It's just a gift you have. Keep up the good work. Thank you. You know, Taylor, I'd like to ask you, what is a guest, you don't have to say worst, but what is a guest that you didn't really like or didn't think you were going to like and you found it interesting? And all of those. That question goes to everybody. Who did you tune into that you didn't think you were going to like the interview, and at the end of the interview, you were enlightened and liked it? Feel free to comment. And yes, Jeff Wood. I know we're getting a lot of comments about Jeff LaBar, and we did talk about it earlier in the show. Why, thank you. And it is terrible. Rest in peace, Jeff. And I was, unfortunately in life, you've dealt with you deal with a lot of loss, and but that one, it hit me. Jeff LaBar was only 58 years old. I knew that he had issues, but it was a bummer. So, okay, here's some of the ones that you guys are talking about. The girl from Vixen. Okay, I get that. Janet Gardner. Okay, I get that. Janet G. So a lot of you guys were not expecting Tiffany. Vixen. Okay, so a lot of you guys, Tiffany and Vixen, you probably were not expecting to like it. And apparently you got something out of it. And which is great. I'm really glad. I liked Janet. I was late to Vixen. I explained it to her in the interview. I saw them on that same cruise with the last Cinderella concert. And I really got to like her, and she had great stories, and I think she did a good job. And Tiffany's been my buddy. I love Tiffany. She's so cool. And I think that, I think she won a lot of people over. And I see a lot of people saying Tiffany. That's a big one, but she was great. Okay. The Bonnie and Clyde death car. Amazing interview. Thank you. The car didn't talk very much, but I thought it was good. That stuff's moving. All that kind of stuff is moving to my new channel. And to see it, you can subscribe at the link below. I saw a comment. Tiffany's hot. I agree. Rowan Robertson was a rough interview. I'm wondering why you thought that. I have reasons myself. I didn't think he wanted to talk about Dio so much. I don't think he wanted to ruffle any feathers. And I think there was some controversy between him and other members of Dio who left. And I think he just wasn't going to ruffle any feathers. And I think that's why, luckily, Simon was there. Tracy G is one I see. And he was scheduled, and he had to reschedule. He had some personal things to tend to. But I think he's got some really interesting stuff to talk about. Bruce Bouillet, that's an interesting one. Yeah, I like that. And I'm getting a lot of Davey Vane. So much that I have to write it down again. Just don't know where the hell you get a hold of him. Can you guys do me a favor? Go into the white pages, and under Vane, let's see if you can get a hold of him. See what he's doing. Jim Gillette in the car. Yeah, Jim Gillette was a lot of fun. I was skeptical about Jim Gillette. I'm going to be honest with you. Stevie Rochelle. Well, I saw that he was doing interviews, and I'm like, wow, other people are getting him. Why can't I? Why wouldn't he come on my channel? That just happens to be the most popular channel. I want the Tony Ray. I'm working on it. And then Stevie Rochelle of the great Tough and Metal Sludge recommended. He recommended Jim Gillette. He knew him. They're friends. They're both singers for Tough, and I thought he was great. He really told some cool stories. Doc McGee would be good. Pete Loran's a weird one. I used to be friends with Pete, and I think we had some political disputes. I feel bad about that kind of thing. Maybe I shook up some friendships, but Michael Olivieri from Leatherwolf too, but whatever. Okay, K Bear. First of all, thank you very much for supporting the channel, and of course, I'm going to make sure I work on yours first. Steve Blaze from Millennium Axe. Hold on. Get my writing utensil out. See, this is how you get my attention. It's a job. Steve Blaze. And, I hate to say it, though, with someone like that, I'm going to have to sit down and research them because I'm just not an expert on that. Some of the bands you see, I can just do it in 2 seconds. The guy from Circus of Power, Gary Sunshine, he's on Sunday. I know everything about that band. I'm a fan. And so I don't really have to prepare. Sometimes I just write down the year a record came out and I just go. A good guest also is, does their part. I'll tell you, Jason McMaster, which was an interview that I did not think would be that popular. No offense to him. He's a good guy and I like Dangerous Toys. I just didn't think it was going to be that popular. It was huge. And I also asked maybe 2 questions because he knew what he wanted to accomplish. He has his own podcast, which you could check out. And he turned to be great. Greg Jeffrey is like super private. And, if I can land him, it would be great. He's a nice guy. I worked with him, but I'm not sure I can get him. Y&T, that's another one. I should have been, there's no E in green, but I still appreciate the compliment. I don't know what I was telling you. Oh, I don't know Y&T that well. Yeah. But I bet you guys have got some good. You guys got some good suggestions. All right, it's almost time to wrap up. Let's Alex Lifeson, thank you. Analog Kid, I can tell you're a kid because I don't think I'm going to get Alex Lifeson. Lillian Axe, Rush. We're going to get there though if you guys keep supporting this channel. How long have I played bass? That's a good question. So when I was a kid, I wanted to play guitar. I wasn't very good at it. I went to Nick Bocott from Grim Reaper for my guitar lessons. I was his only student at the time. And I started to learn, and I bought a bass because I thought bass only has 4 strings. It'll be easier. But I didn't realize. And the thing I tell people now, if you're trying to learn how to play guitar or bass, the most important thing you can do is learn all of the notes on the neck. Learn that's an F. You know what I mean? Learn that. That's a G. That's an E. It's an A. It's a B. So many people don't learn that. But most musicians speak in that language. I'm talking this about for beginners right now. And they don't learn that. But once you learn the notes, then you realize, well, everything you learned on the bass, you can also play on the guitar because you're just playing the root notes. I'm not talking about Billy Sheehan shit here in Scientology. We're talking about playing. So anyway, it took me years. And then when we came out here, we used to have guys come up and play with Sin City Sinners, play bass. And then when our singer who used to do it left, the idea was, well, I'll just do it. And I was fat and like lazy and I don't know. But I practiced. Scotty Griffin helped me. And I started to get comfortable. And we played 75 shows that year alone since the Rejects. And it's been fun. And I don't really sit around and play the B sharp. I don't really play the you're thanking me for my candid answer, but I'm not sure what it is. But yeah, I played the I only sit around and play for fun. We have a gig, I sit around and play. And my first few shows we play 2 hours, 2.5 hours a night. People think punk music is stupid or easy. It's not. Move your wrist for 2.5 hours. Fast, 16th notes all night. It's not easy. And so anyway, I love it, and I'm hoping to make another record. Hey, what do you know? We just happened to have my first record right here, "The Death of a Nation" by the Sin City Rejects. And I gave away a couple of these to my Patreons, and I'm going to give away some more cool prizes next week. And also, if you guys watching, if you're still watching or you just joined me, I want to give you some Funko Pops because I love Funko Pops. I'm working on having all of the rock ones. I have about 175 so far, something like that. Some are really expensive, but you can take home. Let's see how you do this. You can take home. There's a light show in here. You can take home Joe Perry. That's Bret Michaels, sorry, or Joe Perry, right? So all you got to do is go down into the description and hashtag waste some time with Jason Green. You do this not on here, but after the video ends, go into. You got to be a subscriber. Subscribe to my channel. Waste some time with Jason Green. Hashtag waste some time with Jason Green, and then put Joe or Brett. Next week, right here live, I am going to give these away randomly to some lucky viewers, and I'm also going to come up with some cooler stuff. I got to go to my storage unit and things like that, but I've got some cool memorabilia, and you guys can get it. All you got to do is subscribe to the channel. It's not that hard. And also, I would like to remind you to join Patreon. It's easy. Easy. Get on there. It's not that expensive. You can cancel anytime and get your stuff. Get a question. Because what happens with the questions to the guests are you join that tier. It's cheap, by the way. And I will message you. And I'll tell you, this is who's coming up. And I'll give you names of guests, including the two that I teased but didn't tell you who. And you guys can ask a question to the guest. And I appreciate it. And you support this channel. Thank you, WJ. I appreciate that. I appreciate everybody who's watching this. And if you think that at times I get a little animated, it's because, you deal with such dopes sometimes. And when, if anyone's starting a YouTube channel, you got to have a thick skin. That's my first piece of advice to you. Have a thick skin. People are going to insult you. They're going to tell you you're no good. Just do it. To thy known self be true, Shakespeare. You do this because you like it. I like talking to these guests. If I didn't get paid, I'd still do it. I love talking to musicians. I love hearing stories. I like to talk. That's why I'm sitting here chatting with you guys. And I went to school for broadcast journalism, and this is what I've always wanted to do. The problem is I didn't want to keep auditioning, and I did. I auditioned for MTV to be a VJ, not in a contest either. I mean, real deal. I failed because maybe my wardrobe wasn't good enough, or maybe, whatever. The point is you put a product out, and it's real, and people like it. Again, I don't mention the other people doing this, but there's some that I've seen, and I go, holy cow, that's bad. And you guys have the final vote. I see Dumal's. I have a Billy Dior from Dumal's coming up very soon. I got to read his book. That's what's pushing it off. Hi, Jace from England. Well, thank you. I'm glad you're watching. I wanted to answer another question. We're going to get to some thrash. I see Gary Holt. That's a good one. I think we need I agree. I think some harder metal. Frank Bello from Anthrax has come up. I know it's not the heaviest thing in the world. Leftover Crack, there's a punk band. But no, I think we'll have some heavier metal soon. There's a question that I wanted to answer, but I forgot. Yes, music brings us all together. That's the other key to this. We're not talking politics, or we're not talking pandemic. We're having fun. What was my most memorable gig? I'm assuming you mean most memorable gig that I saw, but my most memorable gig that I played was with Richie Ramone. We played a full set of Ramones music with Richie Ramone behind me. When I said 1, 2, 3, 4, and I look back and the guy is there. He's on 2 great Ramones records. He was in the band for 5 years. He wrote somebody, put something in my drink. To play that with him was really exciting. My favorite show that I saw, it's probably the Ramones. I saw the Ramones play the Ritz, Studio 54. It's incredible. I saw Dee Dee Ramone play a club called The Bank. Maybe it was 50 people. We went on 3 a.m. on a I think a weeknight, and that was when I first got to know Dee Dee. And I got to go into the basement of this club, which was a bank vault, literally an old bank vault. And I got to sit and play Fender Telecaster guitars with him. And he signed about 20 of my Ramones records. I was definitely a fanboy. And fortunately, I still have all that. And one day I'll tell those stories in more detail. Yes, Jason Green is now a brand. I think so, and I appreciate that. You guys are great. And thank you, Tiffany. Tiffany Blue. Tiffany Blue sounds like a rock and roll kind of name. Jesse Camp. You know, it's funny. A friend of mine, Rachel, who was in the Sin City Rejects, she went to a club in L.A. called Bar Sinister. She said the only person she ended up talking to was Jesse Camp. And Jesse's a character, but he'd be good. I don't think Jesse Camp knows how to get on the internet, but he'd be interesting. He's a character. He's a character. Okay. Let's see here. Yeah, Ramones. I mean, definitely. I saw Sex Pistols' last concert ever, which was here in Las Vegas at the Joint, which is what the original band, you know, Glenn Matlock was the original bass player. And it was great. They're like the Rolling Stones of punk. You know, how amazing. I did meet Lou Reed. Lou Reed was the kind of guy in New York you would run into. You got man people. Back then, someone like Lou Reed probably wouldn't even get recognized. You know, I met him. Don't really exactly remember where, but there's a picture of it. And the same day I met Joe Walsh, and there's pictures of that too. I got to get all these pictures databased so that when we talk about somebody, I can bring them up on here. I got to hire somebody to do that, though. Yeah, PJ Souls. I should get PJ Souls on here. She would do it. PJ Souls is great. Like you said, Stripes and Halloween and Rock and Roll High School. Yeah, she would be great. And I met her a few times. No, she too. Yeah, Jesse Camp would definitely talk her off. I think Jesse Camp might be one of these guys who might try to be too funny, and then maybe he's not that funny. I don't know. The Great Cat. I mean, come on, the Great Cat. I can't give you the parameter of how. I mean, if you're the Great Cat, if you don't know the Great Cat believes that she is the reincarnation of Beethoven. She went to Juilliard. She is one of the fastest guitar players in the world, and she likes to play in her bra and panties while she did it. I didn't think I'd get bra and panties involved in one of these conversations, but yes, so you got to see this Great Cat thing. It's nothing like an interview you've ever seen. Hopefully it'll be coming out soon. Sin City Collector, thank you for reminding people. You got to hashtag waste some time with Jason Green in the comments after the show. And then you mention which Funko Pop you want to win. Do you want Bret Michaels or do you want Joe Perry? This is just so we can practice. Famous horror movie directors could happen. I know a lot of them, trust me. Because I also had a background in filmmaking. I co-wrote movies for a company called Trauma, makers of The Toxic Avenger. That's a whole nother episode. But if you watch the interview with me and Jane Jensen, you'll get a lot of this. Whatever happened to the Great Cat? Well, she's only allowing 5 questions. So I suggest you go to my Patreon. The Great Cat also only refers to herself in third person. So it's going to be good. Lee Aaron, I've gotten a lot of requests for it. I'm surprised. Analog Kid, where are you from? I mean, you got to be from Canada or something. I'm thinking Canada. Yes, we've covered Jeff LaBar. Of course, it is horribly sad. I have my copy of Night Song signed by Jeff back there in honor of him. It's a terrible day. It's a terrible day. I feel for his family. He's got a son. He's a musician, also Sebastian, and Jeff is only 58 years old, and as I mentioned earlier, I was reaching out to him, trying to get him on here. Not a kid. Okay, Analog Kid, you're not a kid, but you got to be from Canada. Boston. Gotcha, Boston. Well, that's interesting. That doesn't really fit the some of the names, but okay, Boston in the house. Beantown. New Kids on the Block, my favorite band from Boston. It's New Kids on the Block, and then Aerosmith. Yes, I met Leslie West. Yeah, he's a great guy. That's another New York guy. I met Leslie West at a Howard Stern book party. It might have been Robin Quivers' book party, but there was some hobnobbing event at an expensive place that I probably shouldn't have been at. And and I met Leslie West. Cool guy. Rocky George. Yeah, James, Rocky George. I sent a Facebook, but I want Rocky George. I do want him. You guys know them. Do me a favor. Go to the white pages and look up Rocky George. I'd like to have him on. Joey Tempest, Europe. Yeah, I like that. Chris DeGarmo is a good one, but we're looking for Chris DeGarmo. We're looking for Chris DeGarmo, or we're looking for Scott A. Rockenfield. Whitfield Crane. I brought Whitfield Crane out to be a guest with the Cincy Sinners, and he said, "Boy, you guys are just so unprepared." And it was funny because they thought his music was going to suck and be really easy to play, and no one rehearsed, and it was not. Hey, have you guys heard about the Backstreet Boys residency coming to Las Vegas for Christmas? I'm going. If you guys want to join me, I know I got an invitation to go see George Lynch and Don Dokken. I already seen that. But Backstreet Boys here at the Aladdin Theater, I think it's called the Zappos Theater. You guys are more than welcome to come with me. If you guys know Backstreet Boys, their songs written by a Swedish heavy metal musician. All right. Mick Mars would be epic. We got to figure it out. I got to figure out how to get him, because I think he would like this. Sometimes I think people would like to talk. People are scared to go on these shows because they watch some of the people that you also see, and they suck. And they're trying to be wacky, zacky game show hosts, and guys don't want to go on that. And they don't want to hear someone who's trying to ask controversial questions just to be controversial. Some of these idiots are just trying to make blabbermouth headlines, and it's so obvious. And, I don't cut my interviews up into like little shock clips. That's the other thing people do. They take 2 minutes and they make it shocking. Ooh, did this happen? It's like, I don't want to do that. I want you to enjoy these interviews, and I don't want to screw people over. Is Analog Kid trolling? I missed it. Are we trolling? I like the term trolling. The cars, that's not a bad one. I'm hoping we can get maybe we'll get some drama. Marcy Free. We need it. We need Marcy Free. We need Marcy Free. We have, and I like the Cars, by the way, a lot. But Marcy Free, I met Rick Ocasek at Electric Ladyland. He was working with Weezer. That was a cool one. I need Marcy Free. We had, and not like that. Not that there's anything wrong with that. But we had the other fellas, Nick Sweda, and we had Johnny Rod. I would give Marcy Free a respectful interview. I'm not going to sit there and ask rude things. For those of you who don't know, Marcy Free was the singer. He was once Mark Free, sang for King Cobra, and he had a transitioned. So Dizzy Dean, we get that one a lot. I just have to find these people. Yeah, don't forget to hit the Sin City Collector. You're right. Don't forget to hit the like button, and Unleash the Fury, of course. Yngwie. I don't think. I mean, Yngwie might do it. He'd be a terrible interview. But I try to mix it up. I freeze when people say, "What's your favorite band?" or "What's your favorite movie?" Even because I'm into so many different things. I think Dee Snider is a possibility. I think that Eddie Ojeda might have said some stuff about his. I don't know. I might have gotten into some controversy, but it'd be good. But yeah, I mean, the goal would be, I'm not here to make a headline out of people. If these interviews get some attention, that's fine. But I'm not looking for shock. And I'm certainly not looking to disrespect anybody. I leave that to the assholes in the comments. Anyway, yes, sometimes people ask for guests that there's no chance in hell I'm going to get. But sometimes I think there's a few interviews here that you'd be surprised that I got. Adrian Vandenberg, yeah, that comes up a lot. I've talked to his people. Michael McKean. I would love to have Michael McKean. That's Lenny from Lenny and Squiggy, in addition to Spinal Tap. Adrian Vandenberg, John Sykes, Warren DeMartini. These are like, we got to get our subscriptions up to like 10,000. How are we doing on that? Are we getting close? We got to get that going because, we got to get that close. I'm checking to see. You want me to go after these people, because what happens is then you got to deal with publicists, and they review this, and they have to make. Tommy Aldridge is a possibility, and yeah. All right, I feel we're going to wrap this up in a minute, because I mean, Again, I love talking. I'm going to get a sidekick. We're going to host auditions, and we're going to get a sidekick. That way, there's someone else that I'm talking with, and it's not just me yapping, and I feel like a pretentious jerk. Jeff Watson is a friend of mine. He's pretty private right now, but I'd like to have him. Nita Strauss. Yeah, I managed Nita Strauss once. Not sure you'll see her on here, but yeah, she's a nice, talented woman. Carmine Apiece told me maybe later, because he has his own podcast, that he didn't want to do too many podcasts, which I get that. Yes. Chris Poland would be interesting. I like that. Robert Smith of The Cure. There's one of my favorites. There's a guy who does one interview every year that he's on tour. One. The guy goes on tour and he gives one interview. So I don't think it's going to be me, but I'm a huge fan. Cure is one of my favorites. I've seen The Cure over 10 times. There's only a few bands where I could say I've seen them a lot, and I've seen The Cure a lot. Fake Rat is a really, really long story. I'm going to tell it with Scotty Griffin when he comes on. I think it's next week or something. And him and I are going to sit down and talk about what it was like to be part of this magical thing called Fake Rat. And it means Stephen Pierce will talk a little bit. I see someone asking for Stevie Wonder. I'd love to have Stevie Wonder on, but I don't know. He's a good one. You got some good ones. Not that one. The Cure. Well, I agree. Yeah. Cure is great outdoors, but indoors seems boring. It's funny you say that. I mean, I never really thought about that, but the Cure shows that I saw outdoors are better. I saw them in Nassau Coliseum, small venue, and it wasn't my favorite show. But then I've seen them. I saw the last American show in Pasadena, and it was great. Really good. Okay. But this is a good one here. Tony Brock or Wally Stalker. 90% of the people watching do not know who that is. But I've seen them live, and I worked on a fake. They opened for Fake Rat, and those guys are from the band The Babies, great band that John Waite used to be in. And I'd like to have those guys, and I bet they do it. Someone's saying Blaze. Are you talking about Blaze, who was the guitar player for Fake Rat, or are you talking about Blaze Bailey? Are you talking about Steve Stevens? Steve Stevens lives in Vegas now. Stevie Nicks, yeah. Stevie Blaze. That's got to be who it is. That's a popular one yet. I haven't had Tammy Down on yet, but I will soon. Billy Morris, I don't know. I'm sure he'd do it, but does he have anything to say? I do these lives and I get in trouble. Now someone will go tell Billy Morris. I don't know. I'll tell you, Bobby Blotzer once told me Billy Morris was opening up a show for Fake Rat in his hometown of Ohio, and Bobby Blotzer told me to go cut him off, turn the lights on, and I didn't do it. Adam Ant, yeah. Adam freaking Ant. I wish we could spin the wheel some more. The wheel was where the fun was at. Has anyone joined the Patreon? I got add you to the wheel. All right, next week. Blaze from Fake Rat. Blaze, by the way, moved to Nashville. He's an amazing guitar player. He plays country music. I think only a few people know what I'm talking about. Yeah, I think Steve Stevens will do it. He seems to do a lot of these things. Is it true to make it in music you have to go to the crossroads? I believe it's true. Yeah, and I haven't been there yet, so it explains why my record, "The Death of a Nation" from Sin City Rejects, has not made it. Although it's very successful in some markets that you wouldn't expect. This is a very, very explicit. Let me explain that this record features Richie Ramone on drums on the song "I Just Want to Waste Some Time with You," which is also the theme song to this show. And he's on it. A drummer named Tiny Bioso is on it. He was in the Dickies, and he was in TOSOL. And Johnny Kelly from Type O Negative, he played on this record. This is a great record. And I'm going to give us some more of these away. There's not many left, to be honest. This is nowadays the kids get their music streaming. The analog kids, that is. Do I like shoegaze music? I dated a girl who did, and so I got into a little bit of it, but it's not my favorite. All right, I'm running out of steam, I think, but I'm enjoying Blaze. Hold on, I'll talk about this with you. Want a little controversy? Blaze was better at copying Warren Souls than Ziff, way better. No offense to Jordan Ziff. Blaze was 100 times better. It wasn't even close. It's not even close. I worked with both of them. Jordan Zipp's a nice kid. Blaze is the real deal. Not to say that Jordan can't play. He could wibbity with Marty Friedman all day. The lineup that I picked for Fake Rat was better than the lineup that Steven picked, or Juan, or whoever. Chris Sanders, he's not even in the band anymore. Pete Holmes. I mean, I had Bobby Blaser. Maybe I'd take Pete Holmes. Yes, thank you. Death of a Nation is available wherever fine music is streamed. So listen to it. It doesn't cost you anything. I probably make a cent. Okay, I'm going to wrap this up. So Patreon, please go over there. Right now there's 7 people. So next week, if you sign up, you get on the wheel. And if you want to ask questions of some of these really famous people that are coming up, maybe we're in Doggin, or maybe we're in one of the biggest British heavy metal bands of all time with a word concerning the law. I don't know, but if you could ask them questions, but you got to sign up and help support the channel. And I'll keep doing this one. I have met David Lee Roth. I've got amazing David Lee Roth stories. Amazing. Crazy. So my Eddie Van Halen and David Lee Roth stories go together, but I'm not going to tell them now. You've got to, you can't give it all away. You got to save something for the sequel, as they say. Okay, so yeah, and I'm going to get a sidekick. I think Jane Jensen is the perfect sidekick. I'm going to message her and see if she will come on here and co-host one of these with me, because she's really funny and she's an actress, and she had a record out called Comic Book Horror on Interscope Records, and so maybe we could talk. Because if there's someone else here, then when you guys talk about Leif Garrett, it's not just me sitting in my living room talking about Leif Garrett. You guys, thank you. Go follow my second channel so I can get some content on there, and I share that link right now. And then the Patreon. I hate to be the asshole begging. You know, when I do my interviews, you will notice I don't sit there and constantly remind people. We get a little plug in the beginning, and then that's it. Frankie from King of the Hill. I know him, and I'm thinking about it. I got to make guys like that interesting. No offense to him, but if you do me a favor, guys, watch the interviews, even if it's not somebody you're a fan of. Kiera Rossler, premiering Friday from the band Black Flag. She banged Joan Jett. Is that not politically correct to say? She was intimate with Joan Jett. You got to hear that story. And there's a lot more, but that's the clickbait headline. All right, so tune in. Christy Canyon, that's a funny one. You know, Christy Canyon is a friend of mine. Christy Canyon is not a musician. I would have Christy Canyon on. She would be great. I haven't figured out how to interview somebody from that walk of life and not get flagged. YouTube is very, very particular. And this is my living. You can see what I'm saying? And so if I can't monetize, because they won't let you monetize anything with adult content, then see, Tiffany knows. And yeah, so that's why I've been careful with anything risque. Maybe I need another channel for that. Stacy Q. So me and Stacy Q have been going back and forth too. She was all set. Stacy Q with Flakes. We had a date and a time, and she sent me her new song. And thank you for subscribing. And then she disappeared. Stacy Q, and I booked Stacy Q to play with the Sin City Sinners. She came to Vegas. She missed one of those shows too. Stacy Q is a character. She's a liability, but maybe I can get her on. I'm glad you guys even know who Stacy Q is. Femme Fatale. Scott, you win a prize. Scott, you win the Femme Fatale prize. I just spoke to Lorraine Lewis, the singer of Femme Fatale, today, and she's coming on very, very soon. I see Bad Brains, and I like Bad Brains, but I don't know if those guys are doing this kind of home chat. Tiffany, thank you. Can't wait for Kira. Good. You're going to like it. You guys are going to like it. I grew up on New York City punk rock. I wasn't really a big Black Flag fan. I didn't know that. I didn't know about the Hollywood clubs. I didn't know about the Germs that much. Boy, is Kira going to give you folks an education. Like, good day. That's very proper. Good day. L is saying good day. I said good day. All right. Anyway, you guys know what to do. Subscribe, like, comment, Patreon, super chat, Two of Hearts, whatever it is that Gary Hoey could be a good one. Minor Threat, Junker. Yeah. You guys are making great suggestions. And you know what? You can keep this game going because I read the comments and I take the ones and then I go after these people. Also, remember, if you're friends with someone famous, if one of these people is your neighbor, if you live next to Vanessa Del Rio in Brooklyn, go knock on her door. I'm sure she doesn't mind, and tell her you should be on the Waste Some Time with Jason Green show. And I'm sure she would love to do it. Ted Nugent. You guys want to hear a quick story? I only get shit sometimes. Last week I got some shit about Ted Nugent. Some asshole said in the comments, Ted Nugent has better ethics than you. You watch too much CNN. I said I wouldn't interview Ted Nugent because I'm not a fan and I don't believe in hunting. That's just me. By the way, you guys do whatever the fuck you want. Who am I? I also don't believe in sport hunting, especially. And then I know people, oh, well, he does this, he does. I don't give a fuck. I think if you enjoy killing animals, I think there's a little bit of a problem. That's what I think. If you enjoy going on killing, so I don't think he has more ethics than me. And then if I remember correctly, Ted Nugent went and adopted a little girl so he could have sex with her, a teenager. That's ethics? That's a good guy? And then the things he says, and he wants to kill famous people. I don't want to get too much because they'll ban this, but screw Ted Nugent. Okay? And so you can love him, by the way. You guys go see his ridiculous show because you watch his concert and he shows this movie on the screen where he's smiling while he kills beautiful animals. Why would you get off on that? Even if you like to eat meat, that's your thing. But why would you be so happy to kill? Look at me. I'm killing something beautiful. And if you believe that that's good, I think you're an idiot. And I don't really want you in my world anyway. You know what I'm saying? The world of Jason Green. So, Ted went off on Wolfie's weight. How terrible is no one cares. Ted Nugent's not relevant. Cat scratch fever will forever be played at the state fair. Nobody cares about the guy. He's a joke. Okay? And and I'm not getting into politics. I'm just saying, and I wouldn't even talk about it, but somebody commented, and in watching CNN, what does CNN have to do? First of all, I don't watch CNN. You know, I don't watch the news anymore. I'm sick of it. I'd rather talk to you guys. But what does CNN have to do with me not liking Ted Nugent? People are so stupid. Anyone who says that is lame. You're so corny. Get some originality. You know what I mean? Get some fucking originality. So anyway, and again, you don't have to agree with me. I don't really care. Do what you want. You know what I mean? You guys want to adopt children and sleep with them and then go on TV and say that you're an ethical guy? Please. So anyway, I got that one. And then I got somebody else. There were a few people who were mad at me about that I didn't ask about Lita Ford. Like I said, what do you want me to tell you? What do you think that we were going to get? You want me to point fingers at Jim Gillette, and say that he brainwashed his children? Do you believe that? Come on. Got time for that. There's plenty of YouTube interview shows that'll give you all the bullshit you want. There's shows that have Bobby Blotzer on there and treat him like he's the fucking the president. They'll give him a forum. So they'll and suck him off while they're talking. I don't know if you can say that, but I don't even know what show I'm talking about. Thank you. Anyway, I don't even know what I'm reading. I hope you guys are all right with that. Because I'm going to get to, and again, I wouldn't even have mentioned Ted Nugent. I don't really care. He's not really part of my life. But when you're going to come on my comments and you're going to say bullshit, I'm going to set it straight. And don't you wonder why people go on? Don't you wonder why people? Yeah, Wang Dang Sweet Poontang. I mean, I guess I would have no problem with the guy if he would just play his Wang Dang Sweet Poontang. But I don't want to watch the hunting animal videos. Let's see here. I'm sorry I went into tangent, but I hate people who go and comment to start a fight. I never comment on people's YouTube channels to start a fight. I don't, or Facebook or anything else. Scotty Griffin is postponed. He says maybe next week, but he said he's busy. God knows what he's doing, but he'll be great when he's able to do it because we've got a lot of stories. And anyway, by the way, if you don't agree with me, You don't have to comment. It's not necessary. Not necessary. Babylon AD Derek Davis. We'll see. We'll see. Silverchair. Where am I going to find Silverchair? I mean, I like Silverchair. I have a black chair myself, but anyway, I'm sorry I got on this tangent. I know I was promising that we were all going to go, but you guys worked me up. Doro Pesh. I'm working on Doro Pesh. Yeah. Anne Boleyn from what the hell is that band? Hellion. That's a possibility. Do you know who Anne Boleyn is married with or in a relationship with? Or who is Anne Boleyn's significant other? Do you know? You write it in and I'll tell you. Mindfunk. I do. Mindfunk was a band. You saw them in New York. The drummer was Reed St. Marks from Celtic Frost. And I would have Reed St. Marks on. He'd be a great guest. Lizzie Hale. She would be great. She might do it. And there's the answer right there. Yes. She is with, I missed it, but she's with Simon Wright. That is correct. So obviously Simon's been on twice. Maybe Simon can help us get Anne Boleyn. Could be interesting. Like, comment, subscribe. Thank you. It's been an hour and 41 minutes. We've talked about this. We've talked about that. We want to make sure we say again, rest in peace to Jeff LaBar and respect to his family, his friends, his bandmates. Jeff LaBar was a nice guy. I think you're going to have a hard time finding somebody to say anything bad about Jeff LaBar. Because you have substance issues and things like that, certainly doesn't make you a bad person. Jeff LaBar was nice to people. He took his time. He was friendly. He was like just a regular dude. And it's sad. It's a bummer. Just 58 years old. That the poor guy's not here. That for the fans of the music, that will never see a Cinderella show again. It's all very sad. So Eric Martin was I don't know. Eric Martin was supposed to come on. He couldn't figure out how to download Chrome. And then he wasted my time for 2 hours on the phone, and then he didn't, and then he never showed up. I think Eric Martin is scared to be asked a real question because he doesn't want to riffle things up. I don't know if that's a word with Mr. Big. So maybe one day he'll make up for it. I'm sorry that I interrupted the Jeff eulogy. I don't think he did become a cook, but I don't think he became a cook in Vegas. Jeff lived in Nashville, and that's where he was becoming a chef. I'm gonna play some Cinderella tonight. I'm gonna put on night songs. You can't go wrong with night songs. First two records for me. I'm not as big on the Heartbreak Station, but those first two records, man, they're good. Hey, here we go. Hold on. Jonestown Autopsy, and by the way, I hope that's a band because it's a good name. You make a good point. Nikki Stringfield from the Iron Maidens is a total babe. Do you concur? I concur. In this day and age, I don't know if we're allowed to concur on such topics. I think she's pretty hot. I know Courtney. I'm not sure Courtney was thrilled with how my interview with her went, but I like her. I like both of them, but I think Nikki Stringfield is pretty hot. Let's get her on here, guys. Go message her. I don't know her, by the way. I don't know her at all, but I don't even think you're allowed to say "total babe" anymore. But I appreciate the super chat. I see some of these people, they do the super chat and they take a drink every time you do the you do the chat. I would be up to do that. I'd have to drink like a White Claw or one of those non-carb drinks because I am a type 1 diabetic, if you didn't know. Nikki's hot. We got a lot of people think she's hot. I like her. Courtney's interview was a little awkward at times. So tell me why you think that. I agree with you. Never once did I try to imply that Courtney was good for being a chick, but I did ask questions about people who think of her as just a chick. She's incredibly talented. And I was trying to compliment her, but I don't think it went over. And I know her. And at one point, we were going to redo the interview, and I told her I don't know what we could cover that we didn't cover. I like her. I just don't know. I think it was awkward. You can still say babe and hottie. I won't accept a world that gets bent. I think so too. call me ladies can call me a babe. Anyway, fellas can call me a babe and a hottie too. I don't get offended. People are, I don't know. Yeah, Courtney is a hell of a guitarist. She's great. I think she thought, and I strive myself not to ask the same questions. I don't know if we're allowed to comment on a woman's looks, Analog Kid. I don't know. Robert Tepper, thank you. Hey, I want to mention that before we go. I'm going to start doing this on a time limit so that when I start and when it ends. But there's a lot of people watching still, so maybe you like this. Robert Tepper, that's a great interview. Go watch it. That one didn't get as many views as it should because it's not a typical hard rock kind of guy. So check that one out. And Joe Esposito. This channel does not exist without Joe Esposito. Everybody knows him from the song You're the Best Around and The Karate Kid. He also wrote and sang with Donna Summer. You know, Bad Girls with Donna Summer. It's huge. But he's such a talented guy. But it was my first interview. And we did it on Zoom, which I don't like Zoom. I use StreamYard now. And I was nervous. I didn't know how to do it. And so check that interview out. That's the first interview on this channel. Nita Strauss is a babe. Yes. Nita Strauss is pretty hot. I got great Nita Strauss stories. Most I can't tell. But whatever happened to Kim Anderson, the chick in the Brittany Fox Girl School video? Was she hot? She must have been hot. Hold on. I don't think this channel's meant to be politically correct, to be honest. You know what I mean? I wouldn't do that in an interview. Wait, hold on. Jason, you agree? Hold on. You guys are, I wanted to go, but what's her name? Kim Anderson. Hold on. I'd like to take a look at this Kim Anderson. You guys say she's hot. I'm going to check it out. Kim Anderson. Hold on. Do I have to put in there's a million Kim Andersons, you guys. Hold on. I put in Kim Anderson babe. Somebody find me a picture. Post a link or something. This is why I need a team. Doesn't come up under model. We're gonna solve this once and for all, guys. Talk amongst yourselves. This is important business. Does anyone know this chick, by the way? What if we can't find her? Hold on. Kim Anderson. No, I believe Kim Anderson is a model or an actress in that video. But I want to talk to her. I got some things to say to her. Somebody get her on the horn. Anyway, I don't even know if we can find her, and I'm being a little ridiculous. But hold on a second. Bobby Brown, I saw somebody say. I reached out to her. We'll see what happens. I like Bobby, but I don't know if she's. I don't know. She has her own podcast too. Hold on. What the hell is all this? Give me a second, folks. Okay. Hold on. I know this is riveting internet right now. Okay. Are you guys talking amongst yourselves? Hold on. Can we get rid of this? We losing viewers? No, people like this. Okay, here we go. Now, let's watch this together. All right, here we go. You guys watching with me? That guy looks like a famous actor. Now we're stuck with this guy. He rips off her top at the end, so let's just get to it. My female demographic is very small, just so you know. That's the only thing that's small, though. All right. Anyway, I'm spent. All right, did we enjoy that? She was in a movie called Hot Times at Montclair High. That sounds like free Britney. I agree. Let's free Britney. Free Britney Fox. Free Britney Spears. Oh, Jonestown. I was going to go, but dinner's on you tonight. Michael J. Fox would make a good Funko Pop. What do you think? You say just can't. You must know that there's a bunch of Michael J. Fox Funko Pops, which I have. I've got a lot of them. My friend Sin City Collector, the mod here, he found this Michael J. Fox Funko Pop called Plutonium Marty, and they were very rare. They were released only by a company called, I think, Plastic Empire, I think. And Sin City Collector, he was trying to get one. He was struggling. And I should have tried, because that thing is worth $600 plus now. And yeah. Speaking of hotties, now we're talking about hotties. All right. The Girl from the Cradle of Love video. Oh, yeah, that would be great. We should do music video hotties. I would be into that, where they are now. But we have to be respectful. And if they don't look like they did then, that's okay. None of us are going to look the same as we did 20, 30 years from now, So, Video Hottie Week. That sounds good. I bet you Eddie Trunk doesn't do Video Hottie Week. Rest in peace, Tony Catan. That's legendary Video Hottie. Yeah, but now I'm so upset that I didn't buy that Plutonium Marty. Could have retired. I wouldn't have to sit here and yap. But lucky for you guys, I'm here. All right. We wasted so much time. Today was really about wasting time. The interviews, we don't waste time. Here, we wasted time. Last reminder, you hashtag waste some time with Jason Green, and then you put in Brett, or you put in Joe. Depending on which one you want to win, you got to put it separate from the hashtag, so that because it's randomly picked, and so that it'll recognize it. You do that as soon as the video ends. Go to the comments. Jimmy Crespo, I've messaged him. He doesn't really like to do these kind of things. I managed him. He's a great guy. As far as Eddie Trunk's style goes, it's a different style. I like Eddie Trunk, and I think he does what he does. I do what I do. There's room for both of us. I don't know what that. Hold on. That's not what I wanted. Tiffany, I like your comments. Thanks, Jason. And it's so nice to have a quality, straight up content and do that degree. Recipe Chef. Tiffany, I hope we didn't offend you. You're probably one of the few women, gyno-correct Americans that are watching this. So hopefully you're not offended. This is some tribute to Jeff LaBar. Jimmy Crespo is Puerto Rican. Yes, that is true. He is a Boricua as well. Brooklyn Boricua. Tiffany is so effing hot. Yes. Eddie Trunk's boxer Chunk Girl, one of them died, I think. Who was Jimmy Crespo? Jimmy Crespo replaced Joe Perry on Aerosmith and made a great record with them. He co-wrote it too, called Rockin' a Hard Place. Okay. I think there's two of us. Okay, anyway. So you want to win those pops, do that. The other way to win prizes is the Patreon. Each week, we'll have a wheel that spins. Your name will be placed on it. You don't have to do anything. I will send it to you. And yes, and so all of that, got time for all these questions. We talked for 2 hours. You can win one of those. You can win a prize. You can ask questions to guests. I appreciate everyone for watching. This Friday, right here on this channel, Kira Rossler. She was in Black Flag. She has some of the best stories that you're going to hear. I really hope you'll tune in. And then on Monday, Courtney Gaines. I see someone say, remember the Nitro video. We discussed the entire Nitro videos, frame by frame, with Jim Gillette. It's on here. This ends. Binge watch. Stay with me. I appreciate everyone watching, and I hope you all have a nice night. I'll be live chatting with everyone Friday morning during the Kira Rossler interview, so come on and join me. Yeah, I agree. And we will see you then. And then next week, live again, Wednesday, 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. We're going to give some shit away. Thank you so much.